Hey guys, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast. We are very excited for this episode. First and foremost, I wanted to start off with a shout out to my friend Eric Smoke Moran. He is making his own Orville fan TV show. It's in its second season, and yours truly appears in the third episode of the show. It's a really cool show. It's called A Planetary Step. It's based on the Orville TV series made by Seth MacFarlane, none other than. And it seems like I'm parodying yet another one of Seth's properties. So I don't know if he's going to love me or hate me.
Get him to acknowledge you eventually.
He did, yeah. But I don't know if it was him or the show writers. But, you know, I'll take whatever I can get. And, yeah, and speaking of space shows.
Why are we doing this episode tonight, Rob?
It's because of Obi-Wan.
Because of Obi-Wan?
Because of Obi-Wan?
Forgot to change that. Yeah. Because of Obi-Wan.
Because of Obi-Wan. That's like one of my favorite lines.
So good.
Said because she's like, because of Obi-Wan. Why did you
Sounds like a jealous boyfriend or something.
Account
because of Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. It's like a fucking.
But
teenager.
The gang got together. We watched it together here in the basement.
Your dad loved it.
My dad loved it.
We watched it with
I
his
loved
dad,
it.
yeah.
I thought it was really great. Ewan McGregor's a fucking great actor. I can't wait to see what's coming. Super action-packed. I'm really fucking glad that they dropped 2 episodes tonight because watching one and then having to wait for the next one would just be like...
So let's start there,
man.
Rob. Let's start with your overall impressions of the first episode. Let's start with episode 1, which is a little over 50 minutes long.
And you know what? It didn't even feel like 50 minutes long. Like that went like... Honestly, both episodes back-to-back went in the blink of an eye. Like I felt like I could have just kept watching it for hours and it would have stayed fresh. The scenery, the use of practical effects, the technology that they're now using, you know, that they started using with The Mandalorian, with those theaters and shit. It's really incredible, the technology that they're able to implement into these shows and make it look like as authentic as the original Star Wars movies. Yeah. It takes place, obviously, so we're going to give this away a little bit. So,
Spoiler!
Yeah, let's address that now.
I'm going to let you guys know.
We are a spoiler show.
This is a spoiler show. Chris, if you can put in the description of this live that this is going to be a spoiler show, because I'd hate for somebody to click in after we did it. All right, well,
too
we're
late for
fuck
that.
people's lives up then. But
I did put in the title of the video that this is about Obi-Wan.
I will say that this takes place 10 years after the execution of Order 66. So Luke and Leia are 10 years old in this show. We do get to see Luke and Leia, which is fucking incredible.
Little bit of Luke, a good amount of Leia.
We're getting a good amount of Leia. It kind of makes sense that Leia knows Obi-Wan because she was the one that made
she sent
the
them the
message
hologram
to
in the first
Obi-Wan
place.
Kenobi.
Said, "You're my only hope." So it kind of makes sense that because otherwise, how do they know each other at all?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it's unrelated to the Anakin Skywalker thing because obviously she didn't know that Darth Vader
I'm surprised
was
that her dad in the show didn't say, "Help me, Obi-Wan.
Bail Organa?
You're my only hope." If you would have
Oh,
said
I mean,
something.
that would have been a nice
little
little
on
thing,
the
but
nose.
yeah.
That would've been a little
I
on
hate
the
the
nose.
fact that they got
He
Jimmy
said
Smits.
you're the only one
They
that I
got
trust.
They got Jimmy Smits back
and
to
he's
play
a great
Bail
fucking
Organa.
actor,
That's the name of her
too.
father, Bail Organa, Senator.
But the little girl that plays Princess Leia, I have
great.
to say, like, really nails
Did a
the
good job.
character. I think Carrie Fisher would have fucking loved this kid's performance.
Oh yeah. And you know what? It's cool too. It's weird. I wasn't expecting to see like children. Luke and Leia.
And I think that was a well-kept secret.
You have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to expect that.
I mean, I expected to see a bit of Luke. I didn't really expect to see Leia, at least not this soon. But it's interesting because it's like an entirely different actor.
It'll be very interesting to see if this show explains why there's no Inquisitors by the time Luke is fighting the Empire, or if they die later on.
Tear each other
It would
apart.
be
That's more
interesting if
episode
they
2, but
take them all out. But it's really been a fun ride with this show. There's the potential is out there. There's some great storytelling that can be made with Obi-Wan in his exile, and you could see that he's a broken Jedi and that he doesn't, want to embrace the Force or be that hero that he was in his youth. And he's kind of being pressured into being Obi-Wan again when he just wants to be Ben Kenobi and keeps stealing that little fillet of fish. For
so it's good. All right, so I was literally waiting here to bring this up because Rob, when we were watching it, said out
Fucking
loud
shark
what
meat.
every one of us thought. I certainly thought the very same
I
thing.
thought for sure he was gonna get in trouble for taking that little.
Was he allowed to
thing.
take that tuna, or whatever
He
the fuck
took
it was?
that shit every shift.
was so,
and gave
like,
it to that
it
thing.
would
He's
go
a
around.
Jedi. They have no idea what he's doing. He's just using distractions.
Then
to
I'm
kinda
thinking
do
maybe
that.
Yeah, but
that-
he's stealing from the workplace.
He is, right? Is that technically?
You know,
Fuck
it's
that
like-
guy. That guy's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, that guy
Yeah,
is
that guy's a
stealing
piece
from
of
people.
shit. But like, how has nobody noticed that he's taking a little bit for?
Oh,
His little
I
lady,
half
the horse
expected
thing.
somebody to be like to find him.
I don't know what those aliens are called. See, there's so many fucking aliens in Star Wars now. I couldn't possibly remember them all, but
Yeah.
it was the one that fought it in what's his name's face, Jar Jar Binks' face
Oh, I don't
in
recall.
the episode 1.
Right.
I don't even recall that.
Yeah, but
the spike head.
the setup for the story is fucking sick with the bounty hunters and this and that.
Was
got
that
to
or was
see-
that 4-LOM or was that just a 4-LOM?
I thought
like,
that was 4-LOM because you
I
got to
said that
figure
too, but the green
4-LOM
eyes
gets,
threw me off though.
4-LOM gets destroyed regularly and then
Yeah,
fucking gets rebuilt.
Possible.
You know what I mean? Like he
Possible.
probably had like Zuckuss there and saved his ass again, but I don't know because 4-LOM and Zuckuss usually tour together, and in the comics they've actually showed that there's a rift in that relationship. But the comics have been really excellent too. Kind of like a side note, I've been reading the comics and they're doing a big crossover now, the Crimson Dawn, I think it's called, where Kira makes a reemergence in the Star Wars universe, which is the girl that was played by the Mother of Dragons there. What's her name?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Amelia Clark.
Yeah, exactly. So she was that character in Solo, and then obviously
I felt like they were going somewhere with that.
So the comics actually delve more into that, and she actually becomes the like leader of the Crimson Dawn, and like she has her own motives for like wanting to end the Empire and stuff. So she's kind of doing her own thing, and she starts this whole war with the underworld, and the only ones that aren't involved, I think, are like the Hutts and like one other syndicate.
Fucking Hutts. They're always up to something.
But yeah,
Talk
the
about
comics
them
have been
later.
excellent. But I'm telling you, Star Wars fever, man. Because between the release of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Lego Star Wars game that I've been enjoying tremendously, and I swear to God, I'm gonna get the fucking platinum on this game. I have worked too goddamn hard. I've done all the challenges. I've done all the puzzles. I'm just trying to go through like the levels and get the mini kits and stuff like that. And once I collect all those, I think there's like one other achievement where I have to ride every creature in the galaxy or something, like the whatever like rideable like alien, and I get the platinum. So I put some work in, and not for nothing,
It's a fun game.
People complained about the Riddler trophies. There's 1,200 of these Kyber bricks, so good luck. Yeah.
Sweet. What did you think of episode 1?
I mean, episode 1, I don't know how it could have really been done any differently. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It didn't, I saw it twice. I
Right.
watched it before because I didn't want you pricks to spoil anything for me.
When have we ever done that?
The Mandalorian, you guys,
I haven't done that.
you guys pretty much said that Luke was back on the
I never
Mandalorian
said
for me.
that. That's not
I
me.
didn't say nothing.
Who told you,
You
that?
guys, I remember something was spoiled for me by the Mandalorian.
Why would I do that?
It wasn't
I'm
your
not that
fault.
kind of
I'm
person.
not gonna hold it against you. It wasn't totally your fault, but yeah.
I
so.
said it.
One of you guys all you guys were talking about it. So I didn't want it to be.
Did we do the episode? Is that what it was? Were we doing an episode?
No,
you
we
found
weren't
out?
even filming
watched
a podcast when
Mandalorian.
it happened.
No, we were. We watched it before the podcast, didn't we?
I don't think
All
we
right,
Watch
watched
the
it.
first episode.
Either way,
but
something
not
got
the
fucking
rest.
spoiled for me. And
It
years
wasn't
ago
that.
too.
There
We're
it
talking
is.
about spoilers. All right,
Dash
we're talking about
DoorDash,
spoilers.
you cocksuckers.
Fucking, I canceled DoorDash. Side update: I did cancel it. I finally canceled it. Those cocksuckers fucked up my order 3 times in a row.
Three
all right?
strikes, you're out. And
3
you know what?
strikes.
Fuck Cablevision too. 'Cause
Yeah,
I got rid of
fuck
them
that.
cocksuckers, too.
Oh, you get me off track. What was I saying?
Yeah.
telling you.
I've been
No.
using the Hulu thing.
With spoilers, what fucked me with spoilers was, and I guess it doesn't matter because the new movie sucked, right? But somebody I knew posted, somebody posted a picture of Han Solo getting stabbed in the chest by Kylo Ren.
Somebody
Wow,
on
The
your
day before the movie
picture
came
where?
out.
Where was it? In
It
social
was
media?
Wow.
Mike. It was Mike.
I don't know
know
who-
if you knew him. He used to work with us, and he fucking posted it the day before the movie came out. I guess he saw it a day early. and he posted it on
Who the
Facebook.
fuck does
A picture. It's not even like a fucking text that you read and you can maybe not.
Yeah.
It was a picture. It was irrefutable, you know. And
It's like a screw job right there.
yeah.
Yeah, see?
Except I didn't screw myself. Brett screwed himself.
No.
It's like Shawn Michaels giving
but,
this.
I'm not gonna be baited by that today. We're talking Star Wars, all right?
He's a piece of
And,
shit like
You think
Shawn
Shawn
Michaels.
Michaels like Star Wars?
He probably doesn't. I doubt it.
He's just a sexy boy. He's not your boy. Too.
All right, let's stay focused. Episode 1.
Yeah.
Questions that I had. Was he filching the fish out of whatever it is? Was he taking that meat?
Filching a little fish,
Fuck
you
that
know, you
guy.
gotta feed his anteater thing, and you don't have money, so
Yeah, the
come on.
anteater camel. I like that.
Maybe
that
he's selling the
creature.
fish to the fucking Jawa. Who the fuck knows?
I love seeing that it's the same actor that played Owen Lars. It's the
Yeah,
same Uncle
it's
Owen.
him.
Same
Uncle
actor
Owen.
from
I'm
the very
disappointed that
end.
Klieg Lars didn't make it.
Yeah, we wanted Klieg Lars. He didn't make the cut. He didn't survive that long. We didn't see any Aunt Beirut yet. We
Aunt
saw
Beru?
we might have heard her.
Aunt May?
No, Aunt Beru.
Beru,
You
whatever.
said Aunt
It's not
May.
Beirut,
said
it's
Beirut.
Beru. It says
No.
Beirut.
You said Aunt May.
I said Aunt Beirut.
He said Beirut.
Said Beirut?
I'm like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is
Beru,
Beirut?
whatever the fuck.
It's Beru.
Yeah.
He literally says Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru.
Yeah,
How do you
and then
fucking-
she's
how do you
dead.
fuck that up?
They exist for 10 seconds in a
Yeah,
Star
but
Wars
it's
story.
They made him a glass
crucial.
of blue
That's why
milk and
Luke
that's
was
it.
able
Well,
to
I
leave
remember
the fucking
Klieg Lars'
farm.
name at least.
It was
so.
literally over Lars' dead body. He
Yeah.
fucking left the planet. You
Because
know?
of Obi-Wan?
I do like it's the same
Literally.
actors.
He left because of Obi-Wan.
We got Jimmy Smits.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Smits.
man.
Fucking
The problem is I don't remember
Organa.
what was episode 1 and what was episode 2. It kind of all blended together because I watched them
Chancellor
after the
Valor.
other.
Episode 2 was the rescue.
The kidnapping was still on episode 1 though, right?
Correct. So it sets
Yeah.
up that, like, Jimmy Smits goes to Tatooine
Yeah.
and tells him, like, my daughter's kidnapped and you're the only one that I trust to get her
Yeah,
back.
I mean, how else could they have set it up? You know what I mean?
know.
Like, I think that, and that what's.
It makes sense.
Did
that
you
he would
find
have to
any
leave
parallels
the-
with that to the what are they called? You know, Spectre of the Past, Vision of the Future, Timothy Zahn's books.
Timothy Zahn?
Did you notice like parallels, like with like the whole idea of like kidnapping children and whatever?
I mean, they always do that. That's a trope. You
Yeah.
know? And it,
I noticed that
they,
he said
they knew
say
that,
that my
was a way
daughter
to-
was taken, and that's like a direct line from the movie Taken, starring
William Neeson.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Who didn't show up yet? He
No.
did say Qui-Gon. He'd call him.
Qui-Gon has a
Do
particular
you think
set
he's
of
spoken to him
skills.
already, or is he
Yes.
not spoken to him at all yet?
I don't think he's spoken to him at all yet. Because he keeps saying I could use some guidance. So
Right.
It doesn't sound like he's been answering.
You don't think he's answered him at all
I
yet?
think he cut himself off from the Force, similar to Luke,
Yeah.
to kind of hide himself and like remain inconspicuous.
I love how
The
he woke up.
Inquisitors would have found him 10 years ago if he was just walking around like, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there's my lightsaber.
I love how he like woke up when he was fighting those guys. This might be episode 2 actually, but when he goes in
Yeah,
and
he gets punched.
like,
Yeah.
sorry, that's
Oh,
muted.
yeah. So, you know,
He, like,
a lot of
elbows.
people don't discuss like that Jedi are also capable of hand-to-hand combat, and it's part
Right.
of the Jedi training.
Absolutely.
That it's like a
CQC.
martial arts, really, you know, and it's cool to show that Obi-Wan can fucking take somebody out.
And he took that first
It's
punch
also
and he was like, oh
interesting to
fuck, it
see
woke him up.
Obi-Wan use blasters,
Yes.
considering how
No,
against
not just use a blaster.
blasters-
Obi-Wan straight up and pointed it at his fucking gut, and he was like, you're a fraud.
Obi-Wan
bend
shot
his
first.
business, you know.
Yeah, he uncivilized
He's
weapons.
all been over it. You know?
So uncivilized.
So yeah, my overall impressions of the first episode. I did watch it last night at midnight with Vin. We watched both episodes back to back.
Yeah, what time?
Midnight.
Yeah, midnight till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, like 1:30, 1:40.
And then you fucking cocksuckers woke me up like 3 times in a night with your FaceTime
You're
calls.
up anyway. You'll be all right.
Fucking 3 times. It was like 1:30 in the morning. Fucking 1:30 in the morning.
Would you
and
like us to change
my
your diaper,
phone
Dick?
starts ringing out loud. I mute it. All right, I go back to sleep.
The cranky baby
Phone rings
that's
again.
walking
I
up in
fucking
the
mute it. Now my girlfriend woke up. God damn it.
Guess who didn't wake up with all 3 of those calls? And I'm
Yeah.
in the same chat.
That's it.
Lucky
He's dead.
you.
I fucking died. I died at
dead.
10:30,
I-
and I couldn't stay up.
I wish I did. I wish
watched
I
it with the
slept through
gang
it.
here today. That was my first viewing. You all cocksuckers watched it.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to watch it organically with you guys. but I
Vin
knew
was,
you guys
Vin
saw
was
it.
fucking. He was fucking threatening.
Oh yeah,
He
I'm
threatened
sure he was.
castration.
Yeah, I bet
Want to
it.
split hairs here?
Now you're just splitting hairs.
So the one thing I can say, like watching it already, and then actually seeing it with you and your dad, like your face is pretty much like normal the whole time. But as soon as like they showcase the scene with Leia and she's getting dressed and they're doing her hair, like you can't see it because it's you, but you have a fucking shit-eating grin on your face from like ear to. He's so fucking happy. I don't think like you don't realize like how much like Star Wars means to Rob until you actually get to see him watch like something new from the Star Wars universe. As it happens, I mean, he was so fucking happy when he was, when the scene showed like Leia running in the forest, like
his
he was
dad
just,
too.
Yeah, he couldn't stop.
Him and his dad loved because it's like
original Star Wars. See, Star Wars is different for me than it is for everybody else, because I grew up on the original trilogy on tape.
Yeah,
nobody gave a fuck about Star Wars when I was growing up. I was born in 1988.
Yep.
It felt like a Franzese family thing. Like we got together, we watched Star Wars.
Right.
I mean, it was like we were made fun of for liking Star Wars outside of my house, so we kind of just kept it to ourselves. Yeah. And now to see this phenomena, to see fucking Star Wars Celebration in 2017, finally. Because, I mean, we used to belong to the Star Wars Insider, and they used to mail us...
Rob, it's 2022.
What?
It's 2022.
That was the year I went, though. It was 2017.
You went to Star Wars Celebration in 2017?
Correct.
Where?
It was in Orlando, Florida.
Oh shit!
It was at the Orlando Convention Center.
I didn't know you did that.
I saw Dave Filoni in a hallway. John Boyega walked past me. I saw Warwick Davis in the hallway.
I did not know you seen that.
Ray Park stopped a line of 1,000 people to say hi to me. I met Mark Hamill at that show.
Holy fuck!
I met Steve Bloom at that show. I saw Hayden Christensen on stage.
How many days were you there?
We ended up staying the weekend, I think. We got there maybe Friday, and then I think the con opened on Friday. I think we got there Friday, and then went to the con. It was
dressed
amazing.
as Peter?
That was the biggest convention center I've ever seen in my entire life.
Were you as Peter or were you Han Solo? What'd you do?
I was Peter Griffin Han Solo, and I ended up bumping into a fucking chicken Boba Fett at the show.
Oh, I saw those pictures.
And we ended up getting some really good pictures.
That's really funny.
Matt Nelson.
Oh, I saw that.
Nice
Yeah,
guy.
that was good. That was just perfect timing, huh?
You can't beat that.
Yeah, it was wild. We had a great time. It was an incredible experience. My friend Ryan, I can't think of enough. He paid for the picture with Luke Skywalker and asked if I would be in the picture with him and his wife. And,
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
I got to meet Mark Hamill, which is fucking surreal. And Star Wars Celebration is like the scale of New York Comic Con, but just Star Wars.
It's awesome.
The amount of
I would be okay with
action
that.
figures and all that shit. I was like a pig in shit. I went with my Uncle Joe. See, I was supposed to go with my brother. He couldn't get off of work, so we ended up having to give the ticket to my Uncle Joe. But he came with me. We flew together, and then he ended up I think the second day, he was kind of Star Wars'd out, so he did Universal, and I did the con by myself.
Yeah.
And, wow, what an experience. And I really wish that, because I made a lot of great connections there, made a lot of friends. I met the guy that created the 501st there. But I would love to go back, and it's just, whenever it's in Anaheim, it just feels so, like,
distant.
It's like out of reach. And,
it's across the fucking country.
I would love to fucking go to California again. I mean, California's cool. I've been to LA twice. I've only been to LA though. I've heard that a lot of the other places in Cali have some cool vibes and shit. But
been to Monterey. I've been to San Francisco.
I'd like to get to San Diego Comic-Con sometime.
San Diego
too,
would be cool.
That's a
That would
big
be cool.
fucking show.
So let's talk through episode 2 and kind of like the conclusion. And now we have to wait an entire week before we see episode 3. So did you like the way it kind of finished? Did you like the ending to the?
We got to see Obi-Wan use the fucking Force again.
Finally,
which was really cool.
He didn't use his lightsaber.
No,
he never activated it.
No,
he didn't, because that would draw too much attention.
Right,
but the attention he drew from helping her off that roof was a lot.
So, because he only gathered the attention by the blaster fire, he only gathered the attention of 2 bounty hunters, which he was able to take out.
Right,
or were taken out eventually.
So maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but the Grand Inquisitor, right? Spoilers. We're warning on spoilers here. Spoilers.
We're definitely.
We are going to spoil things. Stop listening for a second, maybe. But when she kills the Grand Inquisitor with the lightsaber, right? how do you think that's explained next episode for episode 3?
Obi-Wan killed him?
Do you think they're going to be like, look, Obi-Wan stabbed them with the lightsaber?
Probably.
Or do you think the other dude, the other Inquisitor with the cool hat, the samurai hat.
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao over there.
Kung Lao, yeah. Do you think that, he is going to be like,
I think eventually
him.
he'll suspect and you'll see a fight between the two of them.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to pawn it off like Obi-Wan killed him because she's a true disciple of Vader. Because her entire intention to capture Obi-Wan was because she was sent there by Vader to kind of do the dirty
Vader's just not
work.
going to give a fuck.
Yeah, so
because he's Vader.
She lets Obi-Wan know in this episode towards the end that Anakin Skywalker is still alive, and she mentions the name Lord Vader.
Spoilers
who,
again.
Again, spoilers,
Lord
but you're not watching this to not be spoiled. So
Yeah.
she says the name Lord Vader. And you see the expression on Obi-Wan's face. He's kind of perplexed because this is the first time he's hearing the name Lord Vader. Who the fuck is that? And then she makes mention that Anakin Skywalker is still alive. And then like a rush of anxiety and panic and just
So let's talk
overall-
about that. Can we? Because I said last episode when we were asking what do we want to see from this, that was the thing that I mentioned, was that I wanted to
that they
see
acknowledge their
Obi-Wan.
existence.
Yeah, like understanding. I wish that it was done in more of a way
Dramatic.
that it was something like something they do in the Thrawn books is that he sees him do a special like jet fighter move that Anakin did when he met him in the past,
Right.
because Anakin's a great pilot, and he was like, only one pilot I know makes that move, and that's how he was able to figure out that they were the same guy.
That would have been cool.
I would have liked if it was something more like only Obi-Wan would have
Caught
understood.
that because it's something
However,
they did together. Yeah.
Yeah, though with that said, I'm sure that the way that they're going with this is going to be fucking cool. That's how I thought I was going to see it. If it's just flat out said, like, hey, bam, and then him having a dream with him in the back to tank and, like,
Yeah.
Vader, like, he now knows,
Yep.
you know? That was a fucking sick shot when his eyes just pop open.
They made
in
a
the back
reference
tank.
to Obi-Wan's would-be girlfriend, the Duchess. What was her name? Satine Cries. I always forget her name, but she was like some political figure that Obi-Wan actually had a love interest in the Clone Wars show, and that's who he's referencing when he talks to Princess Leia and says that you remind me of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty cool that they referenced her. There was
I
a
didn't
lot of
notice
little,
that.
things here and there,
Oh, yeah.
but it was interesting that he tried to give the little ship.
Yeah.
to,
Flea. He's a
Oh, yeah, Flea.
musician playing the kidnapper. That's pretty cool. I agree.
That's a good point. Adam McKay mentions, seeing Flea. I knew, too. I was like, is that fucking Flea?
Yeah, you could tell from his.
He
teeth
looked like
and,
a good, like, haggard kind
Yeah.
of, like, bounty hunter,
Smuggler, bounty
assassin,
hunter.
piece of shit,
Yeah.
you know.
like Shawn Michaels.
I wonder if Cad Bane is going to eventually show
A
up.
younger Cad Bane.
Yeah, well, Cad Bane was a contemporary of Jango Fett. Don't forget, because I guess his species must age, like slower, kind of like Yoda's, but because he's all the way into the Mandalorian, so now he survives, and he's one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Right.
He was Boba Fett before Boba Fett was Boba Fett.
I mean, when he walked on the screen in Boba Fett, I have not seen the animated shows, man. I was like, who is this motherfucker? That is a cold
my dad
motherfucker.
fucking loved him.
I
when he
bet,
first
because
saw
that's like
him.
an old West.
He loves that.
That's
shit.
old West style, like.
And he
fucking
also
cold
loves
motherfucker.
Timothy Oliphant too. The guy
Oh
that-
yeah, well he was from Deadwood.
And he was also in Justified, which is another
Yes.
show that my dad
Never
loves.
saw Justified.
And
Deadwood's
he
great.
basically plays the same character as Justified.
Right.
Cobb Vanth, I believe
Yep,
his name
yep.
is. I like that character though. I like him. I am a fan of Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, Favreau and Filoni, they really saved fucking Star Wars with this stuff.
It
West.
was just a sinking ship after
A lot
those
of
sequels,
old like
man.
Western.
Really.
Favreau saved fucking Marvel for that
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
with Iron Man. Like the guy, everything he touches is gold. He's so money he doesn't even know it.
Yeah, we just watched the interview that he did at the Star Wars celebration with Filoni, and I didn't know that he's like us. He's like another Kevin Smith, where he started out as a nerd. He started out liking comics and Star Wars and stuff. John Favreau was an usher at a movie theater during the Return of the Jedi at the time. And that's kind of what sparked his Star Wars interest and things like that. So it's cool to kind of hear them talk about that years later, that, hey, they have similar experiences to us, and he's impacted the series and the genre so much that we have all these new series come out of it. But Star Wars Celebration, that's our next topic. That would have been really cool.
We do have before we move on, we have a question from the people watching. So we do take questions. Feel free to pop them in the chat.
Yeah, please let us know what you think. Make comments. We'll always.
What do you got for us, C?
So Adam AK asks, what surprise cameos do you guys think make appearances in this show?
Well, we already said Cad Bane, possibly.
That's who you want. Yeah, that's a good one.
I
would like to see the Emperor.
Qui-Gon has to show up. We haven't seen Liam Neeson on screen.
Oh, he's. They
already referenced it, kind of.
They set the stage for that.
So I'm thinking Qui-Gon might have like the same impact that Luke did, where they kind of allude to it, but you don't really get it until maybe possibly episode 6.
I mean, it's possible.
A Force ghost is all I'm just,
I doubt we're going to see Yoda.
No.
I find it highly unlikely that we see Yoda.
No.
Because he's going to be remaining on Dagobah. If he leaves Dagobah, the Emperor's going to immediately find him.
Another
so
cameo
that goes to Dagobah, which that would put too much of a target on Dagobah. I don't believe we're going to see.
There's no way. The other cameo that I was thinking, since they're in like Mos Eisley, would be Greedo. Greedo would be a lot younger at this point, and
Greedo would be alive because Greedo grew up with Anakin.
Right. So that would be another cameo.
We could see Jabba.
Yeah,
I think it's highly likely we'll see Jabba and his entourage, Bib Fortuna, and it would be interesting if he has some clashes with them.
He says, "What about Mace Windu?" Or I was gonna say, Tarkin. I want to see Tarkin. I hope they do that again.
I was saying that like initially. I was like, I have a feeling we're gonna see Tarkin.
Mace Windu as like a Force ghost is what you're kind of.
Well, or that he's not dead.
He's fucking dead.
We're gonna see an initially constructed Death Star too. I have a feeling like it's gonna start like the
Blueprints.
Scaffolding.
Thrawn could actually technically would be in this timeline.
I have a feeling they're saving Thrawn
for something.
For Mandalorian.
I think for Ahsoka.
I think Mandalorian is going to be where he's going to be the main bad, and I think it's going to tie into Ahsoka.
That would be phenomenal, and I hope they do that.
I think that Giancarlo Esposito is working for Thrawn.
Well, didn't they say for Ahsoka that they already have Admiral Pelion? Or General Pelion, the guy that's Thrawn's right-hand man. It's the guy that's in the show Rome. They announced it a little while ago.
I haven't seen that announcement.
So I'm pretty sure they already have Pelion, who is Thrawn's like second in command.
I gotta reread those books,
and I think it's in Ahsoka.
I read them. Really
Pelion's a phenomenal character. He actually I don't want to spoil what happens if anyone ever wants to do the Thrawn books, but he becomes the main character. Let's just say that,
Those books are really a masterclass.
So
Timothy Zahn was actually one of the nicest people too to meet. He was another one that I actually met at Celebration.
Read them off again too. What the titles are in order for people for them to know.
So there's the Thrawn trilogy, which is Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. And then he wrote 2 books to come after called Spectre of the Past and Vision of the Future, which I believe take place another 10 years in the future.
Yeah, they're sequels. So there's 5 in that anthology, whatever you want to call it.
And then he wrote a new Thrawn novel. I think there's 2 of them now,
I think there's 3. Might
now?
even be 4 now. There's these are canon. The prequels are canon. And those are the ones that I've referenced where Thrawn meets Anakin Skywalker in one timeline, and then he meets Vader in another timeline, and there is this interaction.
Is such a cool fucking character. I'm really glad that he's going to get his dues.
Yeah, I think it'll be in Ahsoka.
I wonder, down the line, although it's too closely tied to Luke Skywalker, which they wouldn't be able to replicate that character as much CG as they want to do. It would be cool to see Mara Jade. Mara Jade would be an interesting character, but she's not going to appear in this because she would be the Emperor's fist. So where the Inquisitors are working for Darth Vader,
they have to. She's
why? She's working for the Emperor.
Yeah, well, she fucking hates Luke in the books, but they have to bring her in somebody because
she's also the same age as Luke, so she could be like a child training at
the Skywalker bloodline is dead in canon, unless there's
that's not canon anymore.
What, the sequels?
No, those books that he just referenced. Those aren't.
Those weren't. Yeah, those aren't canon. But I'm saying in the 3 movies that everybody despises, that are the latest trilogy.
God, me too. I hate those movies.
I know you guys hate. I don't
hate
care
them.
for him, but I don't hate him as much as you.
I fucking despise them.
But they kill off the Skywalker line. You know, Rey says, "I'm a Skywalker," but she's a Palpatine.
They make
the Palpatine bloodline goes
the
on.
fucking winner.
With
So
the
can I discuss what we just talked about right after the show aired?
What's that?
Episode 2 is how the fuck were they able to disguise Luke's last name Skywalker on Tatooine from Vader and the Emperor for like fucking 15, 20 years?
I guess he wasn't
Well,
registered.
unless they were
anywhere.
going by
What do you mean not
Lars.
registered. He went to school. He went to flight camp. He went to all
Maybe
these
he went by
fucking-
Lars. Was he Luke Lars?
No.
They always
Hi,
call
I'm
him-
Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. He literally says that in the beginning of the movie.
It would be interesting if Luke goes by Lars as a child
It's just
and
a
then
plot hole.
questions who his parents are really, and then he starts going by his
Are
father's
they-
name.
yeah, but are
and
they going to
finds
show?
out.
Are they going to show that time in? Are they going to show that tie-in? You know, to where maybe Obi-Wan kind of hides his identity and uses his force powers while he's on the planet with him to kind of keep the Emperor and Vader's touch out of that planet.
I think they're doing their best to try to tell a story and also like, make it not deviate.
Yeah, but
too
it's a
far
little
from
bit
the
of a
original
plot
Star
hole. That's the
Wars.
only
It
thing
is.
that I talked
But then
about.
you know what? The fucking Rogue One was a plot hole because
Fuck
they
Rogue
didn't-
One.
They didn't beam the transmissions
Fuck
to the
Rogue
Tantive
One.
4.
I hated Rogue One.
I don't like Rogue One either, and that's why like Andor. Yeah, that's cool. They're making a show, but like.
The other kind of plot hole that we made light of it is, Obi-Wan hypothetically is 10 years older than he was in Revenge of the Sith.
We could talk
and
about
9
that.
years from now, you have A New Hope, and the age difference between where
Nobody
Ewan
wants to
McGregor
see a
is.
grandpa beating the shit out of people.
I'm just saying
If you-
it doesn't add up.
If
So
you
it's just
want
like-
to have Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan in something, then
Maybe
it's
the
got to be
ordeal
now.
of fighting the Inquisitors makes him age.
It's
I don't
possible,
know.
but I'm curious to see if they'll actually give him some more gray hair that leads into like how his
Hey,
look
I
was.
mean,
in
I
the
have a
movie.
feeling he's gonna have more gray hair by the time this show wraps.
I mean, just running around chasing Leia in that
That's
city
true.
probably gave him fucking gray hair.
Hey, you
'Cause she
got
was
what?
just running from him
because
everywhere.
we don't know how long this show is gonna like what the year gaps. Are they gonna tell one continuous story, or are they gonna do another time leap?
Well, the year gap is they're 10 years old. 9 years from now, they're 19. That's A New Hope. That's when we kind of
Yeah.
see Luke.
They're
and-
definitely 19 and
Yeah, they're teenagers.
I mean, hey, people, guy can go silver in fucking 10 years. Doesn't take long for a guy to go silver.
It's not a matter of the silver. It's just the
I mean, I'm starting to get grays
The,
now.
the
you know
one
what
thing
mean?
I did appreciate is in the city when he was talking to Leia, he was like, if anyone asks, I'm your father. And she goes, more like grandfather.
Well, that's
I
the
thought-
thing, too. Is I don't know
I
what
thought that was a cool little
he
like,
looks
touch
pretty
that they
fucking
put
old
into
in
it.
this, I feel like. They do a pretty good job at
He
making him
needed to
look
look a little,
run down and
a little
old.
older.
He looks a lot older
he-
than he really does.
He
Yeah.
like gets. It seems like he gets more energy and he
Yeah,
like
yeah.
becomes more lively.
yeah,
but they
yeah,
did
yeah.
a good job at showing
Yeah.
him as being some old, kind of defeated,
Yep.
fucking,
Which is really depressing. The guy went from riches to rags.
Because of
He's
Obi-Wan?
because of Obi-Wan. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
you think about like his life, his luxurious life, how it was before Order 66, and now he's just a schlep.
Everyone you
fucking
know
cutting
is
fish in the
dead.
market
Yeah, but
and-
Jedi,
You're partly
you gotta
responsible.
figure, though,
like,
'cause
it's depressing.
Obi-Wan wasn't living large before that because he was fighting the Clone Wars. So it's
Yeah,
been
but
a
the
while
way,
since-
yeah, but I mean, he was
you gotta
just,
figure Obi-Wan basically was still like a student with his master when he killed a Sith, automatically became a Jedi Knight,
right,
and then fought a war
right.
nonstop until
Right.
he lost his best friend and the
The
entire
guy's had a
order,
hard fucking
and then
life.
had to fucking go into hiding. You know what I mean?
And now look how much he's sacrificing on, pretty much like the later years of
Obi-Wan's
his
life wasn't normal since he was young.
Right.
Well, no Jedi's life really is.
Yeah,
if
but
you
the
think about
sacrifice
it,
that
you know?
he's making
Oh,
to
yeah,
keep
even
Luke
more than
Before
safe
the
anybody.
Sith emerged,
is
the
insane.
Jedi were basically going through the motions.
Well, yeah, they were
They were,
political.
they were going out and they were fucking, finding the Force babies, and they were,
Force
being
babies.
diplomats and
like the Muppet Babies.
yeah, Muppet baby.
So
Fucking love that
there's an elephant in the room that I want to address.
Yeah.
And before you cocksuckers start hollering over me, you
Fuck
got to
Shawn
let me
Michaels.
fucking say what I'm about to say. All right, you hypocrites.
No,
because
don't
listen
do it.
to
I'll
me.
flip the
I'm gonna
fucking
say
table
it.
right now.
You can use your words and
You
you can
gotta
fight.
stop with this.
No,
You
you
gotta let it
fucking let
go.
me say
How the
this.
fuck do you compare
Don't
these
fucking
things?
It's not
silence
even
me.
remotely fucking
When
close.
Obi-Wan sees the lightsaber, his reaction was bury this thing in the fucking middle of the desert.
Because
he didn't
he's
even do it
being
himself.
What was his
He
reaction
didn't
to
even
that,
do
though?
it himself. He sent this fucking other schlub to go fucking bury this thing in the desert, who ends up getting fucking hanged.
No, he didn't bury that. That was Obi-Wan's lightsaber and the one he gives to Luke. That was Anakin's
those
and
were
his
Anakin's
and his
lightsabers.
lightsaber.
So you're saying that he had already prior buried the
Yes,
lightsaber.
that's what he was telling the
Correct.
kid to do.
He was saying bury your lightsaber like I buried mine.
Literally, yes.
So he fucking buried it in the desert.
Because what the
that's
fuck
even
else?
worse
It's
than Luke
contraband. If
chucking it
somebody
in the
stole
fucking
a lightsaber-
ocean.
Are you fucking
All
nuts?
he did was throw it in the ocean, a fucking stone's throw
You know,
away.
he looked at it like a fucking piece of shit and threw it, even though
No,
it
he
was
looked at it and said,
Luke's
I want nothing to
lightsaber.
do with it. Burying it in the desert
With
is
the
way
shit.
more,
Tossing it aside
more
like it means
disrespectful.
nothing is very different
You're
than
totally
hiding
missing the
contraband.
context
No.
here.
No,
You're
you
missing the
hypocrites.
context.
It's worse.
Did
He
you
buried
guys-
it in
are
the
you guys
desert.
fucking finished?
He buried his sword in the
Did Obi-Wan
desert. He didn't
destroy
chuck it
his
in the ocean.
lightsaber, or did he simply hide it?
But Luke didn't destroy it. They got it back like fucking 10 minutes later.
No, Luke threw it like.
Hold on,
and then
hold
Leia
on.
fished it,
Hold
right?
on,
Leia fished it out or
Fucking
whatever.
Hold on.
stupid.
The reason that Obi-Wan is telling this kid to hide his lightsaber and to not talk about it and to live his life is so he can keep him alive.
Right.
Because they are literally hunting Jedi and killing them all.
But it's more than that. There's
No.
guilt. It's guilt.
Not guilt.
They fucking referenced it. He
He's
has
trying
guilt.
to stay alive and stay hidden.
But there's also guilt and the feeling of responsibility, like I'm responsible for Anakin.
No.
Yes, they brought it up before. They brought it up
No.
in the episode.
No, he's doing his task,
Well,
his mission
what's the
is
difference?
to watch
Luke
over
is
the
saying
boy.
the same shit to Rey.
No.
Fuck this thing.
That-
Don't
that's,
get
that-
involved.
That's completely different. First
How?
of all,
Not the
How?
same
first of all,
It's the
she
same
used
thing.
force
It's
powers.
not the same thing.
I'll tell you. She used force powers to find Luke, and when she finds Luke, after the Force fucking awakens, after Han Solo dies, that's what causes her to seek out Luke on this planet where he's in isolation and in hiding.
Well, they were seeking Luke
Right.
out from the
And
beginning.
it's been more than fucking 10 years since he saw
And
a
you know what?
lightsaber.
But
She
BB-8
Luke
didn't
has
die.
not seen this lightsaber in about 40 fucking years. So for his reaction, after Han Solo just died, his best friend, and for a fucking strange girl to be handing him a lightsaber that he hasn't
Strange
fucking
girl,
seen
come on.
in 40 fucking years.
Come
She
on.
doesn't
know
he
who
has
Rey
no
is.
idea who she is.
Yeah, so he fucking chucked it.
No,
It's
but it's
still-
not that he chucked
What do
it.
you have
That's
questions
his
about how
fucking
she
saber.
found it? What the fuck?
I'm gonna chuck this
How
fucking
the fuck
table.
do you not question
Stupid
that
fucks.
shit?
I'm just saying it was way more consequential for
No.
him. No, the fucking guy got strung up and hung in the
He
street.
should have fucking
They
kept his
hanged
mouth
him.
shut.
They hanged the fucking guy.
Hung him. Not hanged him.
Hanged. Hung
No,
is a
hanged.
fucking painting.
Hanged. It's hanged.
Hanged
Grammatically
is
speaking,
fucking strangled to
hanged
death.
him?
when you have a big
They-
dick, you hung. But if you get hoisted up,
Yeah.
you hang.
If you're a picture, you're hung.
No,
If you're
you
a
said they
fucking
hanged him.
They hanged him. That's the
They hung
hanged
him.
him.
No,
No, they
hung
hanged
is
him.
a picture on a wall.
Hanging,
Hanged
it's
is
a
you
different
fucking got
word.
hanged
All right,
for
whatever.
being a
Specific
piece of
word.
shit.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck
So
you with the cell
yeah,
phones.
because and that's exactly. So Luke saying, "I'll fuck this thing."
No.
She didn't. Ray didn't end up getting fucking strung up on a cross and fucking
You know what else I
crucified
don't
in the
get?
streets.
I guess Obi-Wan probably loses it eventually. But that little comm link, like, why didn't Bale just send like a fucking like email to him?
So can
Like
you
a
also
drone?
talk about the little Easter egg that you noticed about the ship, that the toy ship that he has?
Oh, it's the same one that Luke was playing with when he was giving R2 and 3PO
That little
the,
touches like that really like do it.
the
for
oil
me.
bath. Thank the makers. This oil
Yeah, but
bath is ready for
Uncle Owen
sale.
brought it
Good.
back, threw it on the ground. So I guess he ends up getting a toy back.
Are you happy you
somehow.
got the topic out? Like, you cocksucker?
Oh, dude,
Man.
because you're hypocrites.
Not
How am I
hypocrite.
a hypocrite?
Because it was
That's
way.
not even the same fucking remotely the same fucking
Yeah,
ballpark.
what
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan did was
literally
worse.
hit his
He didn't help this
lightsaber in
guy
the
who ended up
desert.
getting hanged.
Because
If
he
he
would
would have helped him, he would have got
target.
killed too.
How do you think
Well-
Obi-Wan would have survived 10 years if he
Well,
helped every
hey,
fucking Jedi
I'm
that
not
came
saying
along?
Obi-Wan had much of a choice.
He's
He's
not.
like,
He's not
"You're
worried
a
about
fucking
this
idiot."
fucking kid. His concern is Luke. Luke has a fucking entire galaxy at his disposal. His fucking mission is to protect fucking Luke Skywalker, who's supposed to be the fucking second coming. He doesn't give a fuck about.
I mean, you're not telling me anything I don't know.
so then
That guy wasn't
how are
gonna
you
do
talking
shit.
about? Like, what are you
I'm
talking
just saying,
about here?
him
In
doing
fact,
all that led
that's
to that guy
mostly
How the
dying.
fuck did that other guy
His
survive
best friend
so long?
just fucking died, and he's
Can I-
seeing a weapon that he
Can
hasn't
I mention
seen
something just
in
a
40
side note with
fucking
that?
years.
When you see the guy hanged, like on the fucking
Donnie,
thing,
you're out of your element.
when you see the guy hanged, one thing that kind of irked me, I got it, was like, I really wish they had a fucking noose tied around his neck and didn't just like, you see how they hanged
I
him up
guess
there?
It's Disney. That's
I know
why.
it's Disney. It had to be PG or whatever.
Even
but
though the guy in Tarzan got hanged.
Did he?
Remember that? The bad guy in Tarzan? That's how he dies.
Oh my
So
god!
he
They
like
show
falls
it?
through the vines and he gets like hanged, and like you see like his body like
From the Dungeon
like, drops
Podcast,
the
this is
rifle.
not spoiler free. This is
No,
not
this is
spoiler
not
free. We've been
spoiler-free.
spoiling
This is definitely
everything.
not a spoiler.
He has a question though. His question is about Obi-Wan's lightsaber, and is that the green one that Luke uses in Jedi?
Oh, was it the blue one?
No. So the
Did
one
you
that
see
Luke's-
the handle of it?
Yeah, the one that Luke makes in Jedi was of his own.
No, that's a separate lightsaber.
It's a separate
Obi-Wan had
lightsaber.
his own lightsaber.
Yeah.
It was. I think that Luke stylized his lightsaber to look like Obi-Wan's
Similar.
with the skinny neck.
Correct.
But if you put the two lightsabers together, you
the
can
hilts
actually
are
see
different.
that they're
Yeah,
different
the hilts
hilts.
are different. Luke actually customized that lightsaber on his own. He's like, that's the first lightsaber
In
that
fact,
he actually makes.
there's a deleted scene
where he's shining up the lightsaber.
where he's actually
crafting
like completing it in a cave outside of Jabba's palace.
Pardon me?
But
Yeah, it's actually much better. Yeah.
man, fucking Star Wars fever, and
So yeah, I mean the celebration. We talked about like some of the interviews, seeing Hayden Christensen on stage
With
after
Ewan McGregor
years
again.
of like.
Yeah.
I feel like when the prequels came out, he did get a lot of flack for his acting in those movies.
that was George Lucas.
It was the dialogue.
Regardless, his career hasn't taken off since those fucking movies.
I mean,
like he
Jumper
hasn't
didn't
really
help
had.
either, you
No,
know?
but I mean, these movies kind of almost put a halt on his career. But to see the reaction that he's getting, like you could tell that he was getting choked up during that interview.
Well,
like,
now he's
it
going
was
to be
really
playing a
emotional
fucking
to him.
monster. That's the thing too. Is he's playing an entirely different
He
character.
gets to play
It's
Darth
just fucking
Vader,
awesome.
which
I mean,
is-
this timeline, this era of Star Wars is by far my favorite. Like, there's nothing like.
I heard
it.
he was even working with like a Darth Vader movement coach
Oh, that's cool.
to specifically.
Well, so
get the
I wanted to
movements
ask a
down.
question since we're talking about all this. Again, yes, there are spoilers, but so he's in a back to tank a lot of the time, right?
Mhm.
Shouldn't he like eventually kind of heal up like more?
I mean,
He has no limbs.
he has nothing.
Well, I get that, but like his skin, let's just say.
His skin does
His
for the
skin
most
gets
part. I mean, he's got
somewhat
that
better.
white pasty skin, but it's not like.
But it was
it
all-
looks like he
it
was
was-
a burn.
But like you
victim.
remember with Boba when Boba was in the
Boba
tank.
still looks like a nutsack.
It's
looks
different
like-
though. He was completely fucking fried crispy.
Yeah. No,
He
I
was
know.
on
I just
lava.
I
the other guy
I-
was in that. Boba
Starlight
Fett was
was
obviously
in,
yeah, way worse. I just don't know like how much can these back to tanks actually heal you? You know, can they heal
mean,
you
they
back to
fixed up
100%?
Yeah,
You
they
know,
fixed
in
up
Empire
Luke after he
Strikes
got
Back.
smashed by a wampa.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're supposed to
AKA
be pretty.
crashed. Mark Hamill actually had an accident,
Yeah,
and they
that's
had
how
to
they kinda
explain
made up
away
the-
why he looked different than
Correct.
the original.
Well, I
Star
remember
Wars.
that. Yeah, because the whole
I think it was a motorcycle
Story.
accident, right? Is that what it was?
I'm not
like,
sure.
car
Car
accident.
I
Yeah.
don't remember.
But Star Wars Celebration is this weekend, and there's so much news and so much, events going on, and they're releasing trailers and they're releasing, video game trailers. So that's kind of like what we have on the agenda for the rest of the podcast. Is we're going to talk about Ahsoka. We're going to talk about Mandalorian season 3. We're going to talk about the teaser trailer that we just watched for the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order called Jedi Survivor.
That looks
That
phenomenal.
looks fucking phenomenal. I love that fucking game.
The graphics look insane.
Well, they also
because-
announced it's next gen only, so that's going to help improve the fidelity,
That's
the
good.
frame rate, and also the graphics
That's
because they're not
helpful.
having to downscale it for PS4 and Xbox One. So it's a true next gen experience, which I'm
I
really
can't
looking forward
wait.
to, and that's next year.
Is that going to
So-
use Unreal Engine 5?
I don't think so. No, they have the same, probably a similar built engine that they used for the last one, which is Respawn Games, the same people who made the Titanfall series.
Gotcha. But that game, I mean, if you haven't played the first one, I highly suggest it. It's probably the best Star Wars game since Force Unleashed.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking first Force Unleashed, because the
Yeah.
second Force Unleashed
Hey
was
man,
kind of like
nothing like Chuck and
Force-produced.
Jawas.
That shit's
Jawas.
No, the
Jawas.
the Ewoks. Ewoks. is
yeah,
what
was
you
that?
do. It's not Jawas. Jawas are the little guys with the hoods. Ewoks are the little teddy bears.
I feel like it was Jawas.
No, it's Ewoks.
And that you're
On
chucking
You
Endor.
in the
literally
game?
start the
Yeah,
you
on
start the
Endor.
game as Vader on Endor,
Correct.
chucking
Correct.
Ewoks.
I remember. Yeah, I do remember. It was the little ones. I thought.
Hilarious.
Isn't it? Don't you get to kill the Jawas in one of
No.
them though? I remember
promise
with
you
the
don't.
the eyes, the beady. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Promise you know. But I mean, there's been some really great Star Wars.
We're just
games
gonna
over
get
the
we're gonna
years.
get like a steady steep of Star Wars content for the next 4
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
from Obi-Wan, and then next year you're
Because of
getting
Obi-Wan?
because of Obi-Wan. Then next year we have Ahsoka, and we also have Mandalorian season 3. So segueing into like the Ahsoka conversation, you kind of made a little comment about what you want to see and who you want to see in that series, but expectation wise, Dave Filoni
I want to
is
see
doing.
myself marrying Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah, I love her too. But yeah, Dave Filoni is going to be directing the entire series, and I trust.
I
absolutely have full.
I look at it like
Obi-Wan
it's just
Filoni,
they're
your
telling
only
the
hope.
same story between Mandalorian, Boba Fett,
Right.
Ahsoka.
I think what they're doing is they're building a universe on TV shows, kind of like how they built the Marvel universe, cinematic
multiple
universe.
branches that can go
Where
out,
there's
but they
this
have
show
the same.
and this show, and they'll cross over, and they all
Yeah.
are cohesive, and you can watch them in a specific.
I mean,
order.
Boba Fett-
and that's exactly the web that they created when they did the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
It started with Iron Man, then it went to Thor and Captain America, and then they built upon
Yeah.
it, and now there's a continuity.
Book
I
of
believe
Boba
that they're
proved
building
it.
their own continuity with
Right.
television shows and Star Wars, because I think they find that the success that they have is telling the little stories in the bigger galaxy. Because
Yeah.
if everything's about the grand story and the Skywalkers and this and that, they're gonna miss the mark. They're gonna
Yeah.
have these plot hole.
You wouldn't have been able to
issues
do
that
the
you have.
Obi-Wan series in a movie, even if it was like a 3-hour movie. They would have had to cut so much content from that. I love that it's a 6-part.
They're taking their
epic
time,
series.
and that's why I
TV
think the
is better than
prequels suffered
movies
so
right now.
much.
Yeah.
Is because they weren't able to take their time, and that's why the Clone Wars found its success. Because if you just watch the prequel movies without taking into account the show, you're gonna question: was Obi-Wan and Anakin really fucking close? Where is this relationship that he said that they
That's a good
that they
point.
were such good friends and that he was such a good guy? All I see is he was a little boy, then he was a confused teen, and now he's an asshole when he's fully grown. That's all you see when you fucking watch Star Wars.
Well, the time
and
jumps a
prequel
lot.
trilogy.
Yeah,
You
they
know what I
they
mean?
imply it
But
when
at
they're
least
speeding
it
around. in the-
shows Anakin and Obi-Wan in the trenches,
slows
fighting
it
the
down.
war,
Yeah, it
working
slows it
together.
down.
It gives them their,
Yeah.
gives you an idea of their personalities and how they work together,
Yep.
and really fleshes out their friendship and their relationship as a Jedi, a master and a Padawan.
Correct. Apprentice, correct.
Yeah, you got a frame.
But Rob, what do
get
you
your
what
good
do you
side.
expect from Ahsoka? I know we have an entire year to kind of discuss this, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it more on the podcast as we get closer to it. But
Do we know when the timeline is going to be for Ahsoka?
I think it's
Is
gonna
it
be
around
post-Mandalorian.
Obi-Wan,
It's
or
got
is
to
it
be
gonna
like
gonna be
Boba Fett
it's gotta
and
be
Mandalorian
post-Mando.
timeline.
Mando.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boba Mando.
That would be interesting.
Thrawn.
I have a feeling we're going to see more Grogu.
yeah,
Mando is definitely going to make an appearance. I don't know.
Do we see-
I really don't know what to expect. from
Telling
the
you,
show.
Thrawn.
I'm
I
going in
really
with
feel
zero
like it's
expectations.
going
Have
to be
they
that.
dropped a trailer yet? Or
no, just
nothing?
a photo of like the logo.
Does
But she
anybody
does a
kind of
great
feel
job.
like what's the name of the actor, the guy who's from Breaking Bad, who played was it Moff Gideon?
Oh, Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito. I feel like he hasn't gotten the chance to really shine. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great actor. I
I
expected
mean, he had
when
the fight with the Beskar pole and the Darksaber.
he had a pretty cool
because you got to realize
moment.
he's wielding a weapon that he has no right to wield, and he was wielding it better
Right.
than even
Right.
than
like
the
trying to
Mando
wield,
was wielding it when he first
hammer.
got it. That's how he kind
I'm
of
gonna
got
put the
fucked
hammer
up.
down.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I kind of was like hoping to see more. So I know right now he's in prison, right? Like they have him jailed.
Yes, the rebels have him in there.
Right.
Well, they're not rebels anymore.
Rebel
They're the New
scum.
Republic.
Which means he's
now.
going to be broken out probably. But so
Either
I'm,
he's going to be broken out or he's going to be killed, and then he's going to be replaced.
You're
I
definitely
hope
going
they
to see
wouldn't
him in
kill him.
Ahsoka. You're definitely going to see him.
there's got to be more with him. He's such a good actor. I want to see more with his character.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree.
So I hope something happens there. But yeah, Thrawn is definitely I think on the horizon for Ahsoka.
So moving into like the other kind of thing, like next year is going to be so packed with Star Wars between the game and then these two huge shows. Hopefully they split them up enough to where we can actually enjoy them and
We got
and
a
get
lot of
time,
good shit coming next.
Mando
year.
season 3. Where do we go from here, Rob?
Well, it's really gonna. They're really gonna follow. I have a feeling the formula of like the traveling Ronin and the child, because there is a Japanese story that's basically based on.
Mm-hmm.
and to know that Grogu did choose the way of the Mandalorian instead of the Jedi is interesting. Although a lot of people were mad at Luke for making him choose like a why not both kind of thing. But you really can't walk the path of a
You'd have to
bounty
be like a
hunter
great
and a
Jedi.
Jedi. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And
You'd
he
be a
already
great
had
Jedi.
that attachment, so it was kind of tough for him to be focused. And that's why they say you can't have attachments as a Jedi, because it just clouds your judgment and it makes you,
Right.
distracted. And that's why Luke
Pain,
suffered
fear, anger.
when he trained with Yoda. If Luke let go of his attachments, he would have become a more effective Jedi and probably could have stopped Vader and the Emperor at a full, if he was in full power.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the Luke that took out all those robots in the hallway, fighting
God.
Vader. It would have been a hell of a fight.
Still to that day, I think that scene is probably like top 3 all-time favorite scenes just on screen in general. I
You
don't
talking
care if
about
it's-
from Rogue One?
No.
No, this is the one from
The Mandalorian
last
season
episode
2
is
when Luke comes in and
Mando.
saves Grogu and Mando. And the
I
other-
thought you meant the Vader scene. For
Yeah,
That whole
whole
sequence of
scene
him,
was
like,
just
Luke
the
coming in,
X-wing
yeah.
flying in, the lone X-wing.
to me like that
I
was
thought he
tearing
looked.
ass
I thought he
through the
looked
whole
great.
fucking
Like I thought the CGI. I know a lot of people said like it needs
No,
to be
it's-
fixed
it
up or
looks
whatever.
okay, but they perfected it for Book of
Boba
Boba.
Fett. Yeah,
Yeah.
much better.
Oh yeah,
Much
I mean,
better.
What's really funny is they hired a YouTuber that literally took that footage and made it better, and then they hired him to do the
Right.
Yeah.
Book of Boba show.
Right.
I liked Book of Boba. A lot of people had complaints and shit, but
Fuck 'em.
that's the Star Wars fandom. Nobody hates Star Wars more than a Star Wars fan, and I truly believe that.
I think it's too easy to poke holes and stuff because it makes you feel smart, and it's like, yeah, but we get it.
I just
You're
don't
smart.
appreciate
We
those
get it.
prequel movies because they just tried to be different, and
They didn't
failed.
try to be different. They try to like
No, the
the
first one
they
was too
tried-
close to the originals.
The first one was a
second one
spitting
was
image
such
of the
a
first movie.
deviation from anything that anybody wanted or anybody thought from the first.
It's not
movie.
about
And then
deviation.
the third
It
movie
just-
was about damage control from the second movie.
they just disrespected everything that was built.
They did a
up
good job
until
with
that point.
Palpatine though. They took care of Palpatine.
They
Huh?
made him a zombie Palpatine.
That was fucking awesome. I loved that phase of Palpatine. They didn't fuck up Palpatine. They didn't.
Well, I mean, it's Ian McDiarmid. It's
Give it to us, Rob.
good.
Give us the other one.
Hate has made you powerful.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid the defector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
A little smile. Yeah, they didn't fuck up Palpatine, so I was happy about that.
Your overconfidence is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours.
I do want to see just more cowboy type shit.
Yeah,
Cowboy
fucking
shit.
A.
I think he's gonna do stuff
Cowboy
with
shit.
that ball bearing. I feel like that's gonna be his weapon.
Who,
You know how
Grogu?
You know he has like
He's gonna,
that
like, sling it
that
around with
ball
the force
bearing or
and
whatever the
shit?
fuck it
That
is.
shit would be wild.
I think he's gonna just fucking
Use
it's
like
gonna
a
be like a bullet.
A
Yeah,
reusable bullet.
God.
yeah. Or if there was one made out of like
Goes through
Beskar
fucking
steel.
Moff Gideon's head.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, if it's a lead ball, it'll fucking explode.
Grogu goes to the dark side.
So Mandalorian season 3, they have to kind of take. They're gonna go to Mandalore, right? And he's gonna try to.
Well, Mandalore's gone. Mandalore's like blown up.
Well, whatever the.
Well, there are
remnants
chunks
of
left
is.
of it, and I
Yeah.
believe those pools are still there. So, like, you might be able to like go to like the
He has to
remnants.
go there because. Well, wait. How did it end? Didn't it end with him trying to go out into outer space
So
or something
there's
like
a
that?
pool beneath the mines on Mandalore.
Yeah,
that he would have
yeah.
to bathe himself in,
Right.
and
Purify
that would
himself.
Purify himself
Because he took
but
his
if
mask
he
off.
does that shit, and he has the dark saber, then that would make him the legitimate ruler of all Mandalore.
Correct.
And that would be interesting to
Correct.
see him become the ruler. I know he doesn't want to be. And who knows, maybe there'll be some bullshit loophole where he loses the dark saber in a battle to somebody else. And then
Well-
he has to mount a rescue of it with,
My concern is
It
that.
would be interesting to see like Sabine and characters like that.
What's
come
the
back, too, 'cause
redheaded lady?
She's the Mandalorian that's in Rebels, which is the show with Ezra and Kanan and all those characters. and
Who's
stuff.
the redheaded Mandalorian chick?
Which one?
She's like the leader of them. pretty
Oh
much.
fuck! What the hell's her name again? She was the one that was...
Chad, help us out.
Somebody out in the comments there. What's the name of the? She's like the leader of the Mandalorians in the Mandalorian.
Come through, chat.
Fuck. I know what her name is. Like Dunka Dunka or something. I forget.
Dunkin' Donuts.
No, Dunkin' Donuts. Jesus.
It's somebody look it up.
I forget her name.
Fuck. But I feel like she's going to, because when
she's
she
the one
found out
that wants the dark saber.
Exactly. When she saw that he has
like,
it,
the bloodline claim to the
yeah.
From the dungeon asks if Darth Sidious will make an appearance in the Obi-Wan show.
I have a feeling he will.
Oh, I mean, if Vader's in it too, I mean,
Lord
you could only
Vader,
hope.
Rise. We might not see him till the end.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to see McDermott back.
I'm always happy to see some more.
He was at Star Wars Celebration this weekend.
So was Harrison Ford, but we know he's not going to be in anything.
Well,
he was probably there promoting fucking Indiana
Jones, correct.
Although Indiana Jones is probably going to be, I don't know. We'll see.
Help.
Indiana Jones and get off my lawn, kids.
So we're gonna talk about Andor, the trailer. Next about
You're gonna have to tell me about that. I don't even know anything about that.
Andor basically is about like a prequel to the Rogue One story. All the people that die there, it's basically about the main.
So it finally develops the characters that they failed to develop in Rogue One, because nobody cared when the characters died in Rogue One. You felt nothing. So that's good. So they're finally giving them backstory. Star Wars is at least good at that, where like if there's a gap, for instance, with the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. They fill it in with these animated shows
like these
and these
shows
in-between
are just
things.
fixing the shit that was on the big
and
screen.
you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I like, because they're painting in
There's
broad
no way
strokes.
to fix those fucking sequel trilogies.
Well, they tried. I mean, the reason they gave
Never
Luke
know.
such an epic, entrance in the end of Mandalorian season 2
to make up for
how they
show.
fucking used him in The Last Jedi like a dope. fucking drinking blue milk out of a fucking tit.
It's funny. I actually went to the bathroom to take a piss when that happened, and I'm upset that I missed it.
You wanna
'cause
see the
I
tit?
saw the scene. I thought it was hilarious.
It's horrible.
It's hilarious.
But
He's
Luke
sucking
would
a
never
tit.
do that, though.
That's
Luke would never suck a
That's
tit.
not
What do you
Luke's-
know? You mean to tell me know for a certainty that Luke isn't going to be sucking a cow's tit?
That's what we know Luke to be.
Luke
He's
is
a fucking farmer. He probably sucked tits already. The blue tits, the blue banta tits, or whatever they are.
What fucking animal lives on Tatooine? I mean,
The fucking
that they had on that farm. They were moisture farmers. They didn't have animals.
I'm sure they had
They
some
had robots.
fucking
I'm sure they had some. What do you call that? Some domesticated.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Hey, you got the cow. Why not?
I don't like what they did with Luke in those movies, and I don't like the fucking Canto Bite fucking scene with the casino, and I don't like the Rose character because I feel like she was like the catalyst to the muddling of the story, because it was kind of like, they were setting up Finn and Rey, and then all of a sudden it became Kylo and Rey, and I feel like that was kind of
you got to admit though, one thing about Luke.
Finn was supposed to be a Jedi.
Hold on, before we go on to Finn, one thing about Luke that they, at least I think, kind of got right. I hated to see him die, but I thought that whatever you want to call it, that
Astral
avatar,
projection.
This appears on a fucking rock and
he creates an avatar of himself to fight him, and then gets stabbed and it kills him.
That's right.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
Part 2 Abada.
It was kind of cowboy-like. He was like, "I'm gonna be haunting you, kid." And I thought what was gonna happen was that he would at least be a Force ghost that would haunt Kylo Ren in the next movie and kind of turn him good.
Jar Jar Binks in
the fucking
never
books,
happened.
Luke Skywalker pulls down a fucking Star Destroyer from the sky.
Did you ever see that skit of Robot Chicken when fucking he kills Jar Jar Binks, and then Jar Jar Binks comes back as a fucking Force ghost?
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time we're gonna be together forever.
Yeah. That was funny. Robot Chicken did a great job. Yeah, they did a great job. Robot Chicken.
Eddie, I love you, Eddie.
I would rather watch Jar Jar Binks all night in fucking stereo on repeat than watch The Last Jedi again. Fuck Ryan Johnson. Fuck Shawn Michaels. And fuck you for bringing up that lightsaber flip, you cocksucker.
You guys are hypocrites.
Fuck
No.
you.
But we already hashed that. We don't need to. We'll bring that up
Yeah,
again.
we were wrong, we were
Hypocrites.
right.
He buried his fucking lightsaber
Again.
in the middle of a desert
Because he was in hiding.
and got somebody
He's in
hanged
hiding.
for it.
He's in hiding.
Why don't he just
Yeah,
put up
I
a
get that
fucking
he's in
sign
hiding.
on his fucking rock that says Jedi lives here then? Come get me.
Eat at Joe's.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
fucking right underneath.
Saying,
Why don't he just go around town slicing up fucking grapes with fucking his lightsaber? Hey, look, I'm over here,
look,
guys.
I need
Oh,
some
look.
toast, and he just
Oh,
like
I'm
waves
over
at the
here.
bread.
He could have hit it somewhere that wasn't fucking in the
Could he
middle
use
of
his
the
lightsaber to
desert,
cook
buried
the little
under
fish that
sand.
he steals?
It's
for
in the
his
middle of
auntie
that.
and a
Who's
friend.
finding it other than him? Because he can force.
So how do you think he found that too? His force sense,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause of Obi-Wan.
They proved that because the crystal itself
Absolutely.
is a
Right.
living like in the Force.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
In fact, that's why it turns red for the Sith, because they corrupt it and they
Throws
make
it in the fucking
they put all
ocean.
their evil and their hate into it.
So you
and
know
it
what?
corrupts the
To that point,
crystal.
that's what I want to see. I want to see more types of weapons.
Crafting?
Why is it only lightsabers and that's like
Blasters?
a sword? Why? Like I want to
There are
see.
lightsaber staffs.
I want to
and
see a
shit.
maul. I want to see a staff. I want to see a spear.
I'm telling you, you got to read that book that came out a few years back
like
called
a crossbow. You know.
the Way of the Jedi, the Path of the Jedi, I think it was called. And then there's the Book of the
You
Sith.
should really play, and that's kind of like our last topic. You should really play Jedi Fallen Order because you actually get
You
to
haven't
own
played
it.
that yet?
You
I
get
own
to
it. I
craft a
haven't played-
lightsaber and how you want it to look. You get to change the hilt. You get to change
In fact,
the
the
color.
lightsaber
you get to
that
go
I
to
have over
different
there-
planets to find a crystal to color it the way you want. Like you would love that game. I definitely
mean,
think
it's-
you need to play that because it's in 60 frames 4K right now on PS5. If you download,
I think I have it on PC too.
Either
I
way.
just-
Ooh, yeah.
I haven't
Before
gotten
that
around to
sequel
it.
comes out, you should play through that because it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I was like when they went to that in the second episode of Obi-Wan, and the little kid comes up to him and says, "Hey, do you want to meet a Jedi?"
Bo-Katan, that
I
was
thought
her name.
that was him.
Bo-Katan. Yeah.
I thought that would be Bo-Katan. You know,
From the dungeon. Thank you, that Bo-Katan. Yeah, Bo-Katan. Yeah.
I knew.
That was
and then
the
Sasha Banks is another one.
Sasha
I love
Banks is
Sasha
there.
Banks.
Whole nother story. Yeah, I think something's gonna happen with Bo-Katan. She's gonna kind of challenge his authority. But yeah, I want to see more weapons. I like a chain, like a lightsaber chain, even fucking type of thing. Just something different. That's
Lightsaber nunchucks.
not you fucking
Teenage
nunchucks.
Mutant
Yeah,
Ninja
dude. They
Turtle
could. Why
Jedi.
How
not?
would you hold them?
Why not? Fucking how would the same way that they do nunchucks?
Unless they have like Force gloves, that, like
You know, or like a spear.
Teenage
Mandalorian, he had that
Mutant
spear.
Ninja Jedi, Teenage
Did he melt that?
Mutant Ninja Jedi.
Did he melt the spear in Mandalorian? He melted it down, didn't he?
Force will be with you.
Yes.
In Mandalorian, to
Always.
make didn't he do it to make Grogu's armor or whatever?
Right.
He had the Beskar steel
Yeah, the rod.
spear, and then they said we're
Yeah.
getting rid of this now.
So he gave it to the Forge Master, and she made him a little like chain link.
That
vest.
she made it for the chain link. vest.
Exactly.
Yeah, chain
And
mail.
then
I have a child.
he told her to take the rest of the spear and give it to foundlings.
Correct.
Gotcha. I'm gonna miss that spear though. That was a cool fucking weapon.
Yeah, but
You know what I
Now
mean?
it's back in the hands of the ancestral owners.
He has a fucking dark saber.
Beskar
Here's the
steel.
dark saber. What
That's
the fuck
true. He
does
doesn't need it,
for?
but you know, he has a fucking bunch of other weapons
Here's
at
a
his
fucking
disposal
metal
too.
stick or the fucking dark saber. What would you pick?
And it's cool to see how his armor is grown. Like he didn't have the jetpack at first, right?
No,
Didn't he like
no.
get that, and then he got like
He
the
got
rocket
that, yeah,
after.
he's getting a little upgrades.
He's
here
been
and there. I wonder
upgrading
when he's
throughout
gonna get
time.
the little Boba Fett thing that comes down. With
I'm
the
kind
little
of surprised they haven't done
Did
any
you get that?
games yet about like bounty hunters. Like
sunset. They
a boat.
did.
Yeah, but they
There was a
suck.
game called Bounty Hunter, and you played as Jango Fett.
It's terrible.
That was on PlayStation 2. That was an old game.
It's not good.
In fact, I think they even did a remaster of it for PlayStation 4.
Yeah, but you wouldn't
had
play
it.
a Mandalorian game?
So
Of
from the
course I'd
Dungeon
play a Mandalorian
podcast,
game.
guys, might have found a plot hole here. He said this bitch killed the head Inquisitor or the Grand Inquisitor, but he's in a new game as an older character.
I don't think he's dead. I think she
Grand
assumes
Inquisitor?
he's dead.
I mean, he got stabbed to like the heart, right?
No, he got stabbed in like
stomach,
the
I
stomach.
mean,
Right
they
in his
brought back
sternum.
how many people in the Mandalorian, right? Her fucking organs were. You remember? What's the name of the fox?
Yeah,
What's her
yeah.
name?
Fuck. Ming Na Wen. What's her name? Fennec.
Fennec.
Fennec
Yeah.
Shank.
Yeah,
Fennec
yeah.
Shank. Yeah. She got brought back. They're bringing back Sheriff. What's his name?
Cobb Vanth?
Sheriff of
That's
Nottingham?
the sheriff from the town,
Timothy
Freedom Town.
Oliphant.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
Cobb
been bringing
Vanth.
back, so it's very possible that the Grand Inquisitor will come back as well.
Well, we have to wait
He's
another
gonna
week
go
to
into a
find
back
out.
to tank like fucking everybody else.
Yeah.
We're just gonna explain it with a back to tank. You know?
But hey, seeing
need a
him
back
in the
to
back
tank
to
right
tank
now.
was
Me
fucking
too.
sick. When his eyes popped open, because he was dreaming, and then that moment was great.
because of Obi-Wan?
Here's Obi-Wan.
Anakin?
What was the other thing? So speaking of that game though, you said there's another game, Jedi Survivor or something.
Yeah, so that's the one.
It's a
it takes
sequel to
place
Jedi Fallen Order.
after Fallen Order.
Huh. So what's the story that he's a youngling that
Surviving a
escaped?
young Jedi. His master gets taken down and sacrifices himself so he can escape. and it's basically him on the run, and the Empire's been established already, and they're ruling the galaxy, and you get to kill stormtroopers and go on adventures and shit. It's cool.
Yeah, he has his own ship. He has his own crew. Really, really good game. It's probably the best Star Wars game.
And if they're making a new one, it's promising that they're going to keep that character's story going. So we could see him in live action, considering the actor that plays him is an actor on in film, and he looks like his character. So they would easily be able to make him play himself.
That'd be
in any
interesting.
movie.
Yeah, absolutely. But segueing into like next week, what do you guys want from Episode 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Or where do you think they're going to take it, in what direction? Will we finally see Vader on screen in full regalia in Episode 3?
It was interesting to see him in the back to tank with the breathing. That was a very nice little touch at the end of the episode.
And even when they went dark and still had him breathe, I thought that was a cool...
I don't know if that's a teaser and they're going to hold off for another episode before we actually get to see Vader.
There's only 4 episodes left. They gotta get the ball rolling.
Didn't Vince say that this was just like one series? Like this is it, one season?
Yeah, six episode. They consider it like a special series episode.
Think of it like Moon Knight. You know how Moon Knight is a standalone TV show, and they're not going to have a season 2. So it's going to work like that. And then any kind of development that they do in this show,
I would just love to see like a Darth Vader series, because I thought they were talking about that, like a rumor, and just to see how Vader
depending
and
on the
built
success
the Death
of
Star.
the show, I have a feeling they might.
You can
Keep
do
Hayden
so
Christensen,
much
and
with
you can
that,
do so
man.
much with that.
Just an evil motherfucker in his prime, Vader in his prime,
Vader in
you
his
know,
prime.
young Vader at the fucking height
They
of
can
his power.
segue that into the start
cyborg.
of New Hope and just end it there. That would make me really happy.
Vader.
Rise.
And it gives credulence to the statement that I made. I think, I don't know if it was on this show or with somebody, because
What's that?
Obi-Wan knows the name Darth Vader. So when she said that Lord Vader, and his face changed, so he automatically they didn't have to say Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that Lord Vader was Anakin. So I don't know if he got that from the security footage that they took in Coruscant.
Right.
But it was interesting to know that he just knows that Anakin is Darth Vader, because that's never.
She says Anakin Skywalker is alive.
No, but before she
Explicitly.
says Anakin,
She said Lord
she
Vader.
said Lord Vader, and his face changed.
It changed, but then
Because
it
he
changed even
knew
more when she says it.
He knew who it was, and then she said Anakin's still alive.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, he went into full blown panic.
So
was
fucking good.
understandably so, and that's how the episode ended, right?
That's how it ended.
Yeah.
Just ended with him saying Anakin.
We gotta wait a whole fucking week to find out what happens next.
Stay tuned this time next week for the conclusion of episode 3, our feedback for episode 3. But coming up this weekend, I don't know if you're interested in coming over, but on Sunday after work, we're going to get together and we're going to watch AEW Double or Nothing on pay-per-view. I believe CJ said he's going to come through. Just come hang out, you fuck. Shawn Michaels is not going to be be so you
Better
probably
be
won't
better
watch
than
it.
the fucking better ending than the pay-per-view with the
CM
exploding
Punk's
barbed
going
wire
for the
death
title.
match.
You're coming over. That's it. I don't want to
He's
hear it.
not coming.
He's fuck coming over.
He's gonna have a headache.
CM Punk doesn't
He's
draw
going to have
me.
a headache that day.
I might fucking have a headache right now. Yeah. These guys laughing at my disability over there. Literally by definition.
Mr. Sweet is disabled.
Disabled.
Why you
These
disabled?
fucking migraines.
He's a cripple,
You get the
disabled.
blue spots too, Chris.
No blue spots.
Oh man, take us home, Robbie, baby.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the show. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the Obi-Wan episode. Please, if you enjoyed the show, tell your friends about it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the shit out of the show. We love putting on the show for you guys. We're looking forward to more Star Wars stuff. And next week, we're going to have a cool little exclusive. We're going to be opening up some what's called Hero Clicks, which are going to be donated to the show by my good friend Joe, who owns Rip and Ship Arena in Deer Park.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your eyes peeled for that. And once again, may the Force be with you.
Always.